everybody. My name is Sean Daniel, coming at you live from Warrior Garden Studios. This is Better Days Reign. Today, I have a special guest, Thomas Miller. Thomas, say hi to everybody.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
And basically, what we're going to talk about today, Thomas going to give a little testimony. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Where he come from, how he got
mm,
through it, and we're going to talk about overcoming,
yes,
and then we're going to
sir.
talk about a little bit about the importance of how we tend to put God on a shelf and prioritize him less than what we should.
Ooh, yes, Lord.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
so
yes.
Thomas, man, take off.
All right, man. So, tell you a little bit about myself. I'm originally born and raised in good old Amarillo, Texas.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Texas is the home. I'm a big Texas fan. You know what I mean? Straight up, anything that has anything to do with Texas, like, I love it, man. But I'm like anybody, that came from a broken home. You know what I mean? My father, my mother, they had, a horrible divorce, and just coming from a horrible divorce, you know, the term hurt people is very real. It's
Yeah,
very
for
real.
sure.
It's very real
For sure.
because, my
Misery
father.
loves company.
It is, man. My father, man. He was a single dad, and then being a single dad, you think, okay, man, I just want to do the best I can, and bless his heart, man. He did what he was able to do at that time, what he felt was right at that time. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But watching him be depressed and watching him, what I'm saying, go through his trial in life, didn't always make him the best. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Not to mention we was I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on air like this, but we come from a very I'll just call it a cult religion.
Yeah, you call it what it is,
You know
bro.
what
You
I'm
know what I mean? Like
saying?
just
But for just for being nice sake, I just call it
yeah,
a cult religion.
I got you.
But it was just a lot of that going on in our family circle that just really tore our family completely apart.
Right.
And so just kind of walking through that, man, I didn't want to have nothing to do with God. I didn't want to have nothing to do with Jesus. I didn't want to have nothing to do with anything that sound religious in any form or fashion.
Right.
Like how they talk about deconstructing, right? And so
Yeah.
everybody has their deconstructing, but mine was like, nah, I don't want to do nothing that had nothing to do with Jesus. Like bunk that, bunk church and all of that, man.
Yeah.
And you know, I prayed to God, but you know how it is. Like,
Pray to God when you're in need.
yeah, pretty
Like,
much, pretty
God
much.
save me, God help me, oh God, please.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And but man, at that time, man, when I was going through this transition in my life like that, man, I had my brother, which I love how God used him, man. My brother, he was a drug dealer. He was a big drug dealer. And in his years of big drug dealing, man, he would do his selling in the streets, and I did my selling in the school.
Yeah.
And so whatever he did in the streets, man, I turned around and did at school. I was that dude that always supplied friends and everybody and folks I know around my school.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, Sketch, like it's go by Sketch back then, but everybody's like, hey, Sketch, hey, it's the weed man. He here. Man, it's the weed man. Oh, it's like the
Sketch.
weed man.
All right.
But like, as always, man, that life leads to a lot of different brokenness.
Yeah.
Because, in my effort in trying to be the weed man, I got hooked up with some dudes that started to do other harder drugs.
Right.
And when I started doing harder drugs, man, then, that's when methamphetamines and all that stuff came into the picture. And see, when methamphetamines came into the picture, man, I used to always think like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this for a while. This keeps me up so I can hustle hustle all night, hustle
Yeah.
all day. That type of
Yeah.
mentality, man.
I remember back in like 2000, I want to say it's like 2010,
Mm-hmm.
when they used to have signs on the gas stations and posted up on the doors about the methamphetamine epidemic. Like it was
Yeah.
a whole epidemic.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like it was
Yep.
crazy up here.
Yeah, it was, man, and I hate to say I was a part of that.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know what I'm saying?
Me
I
too.
was very much a part of that. I used to wear my brother being a drug dealer and me doing this game, kind of like a badge of honor, like you do
Right.
in the hood.
Yeah.
You wear it like a badge of honor where
Yeah.
you say, Like, hey, like,
That's who I am.
that's what we do.
It's what
And
you
you
do.
gotta understand, like, my brother back at that time, you know, I want to say the early this is right in the year when like blades, choppers, and all that stuff was first coming out.
Yeah.
And so my brother back at that time, he had the Cadillacs, but his was one of the first that had those on his wheels like that.
Yeah.
And so, man, when I say, I go to school, hey dog, man, I saw, woo, 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 woo. I love that kind of attention.
Slow, loud, and banging.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, man, we on choppers, and I remember, man, in them days, that's when Zero and all that
Yeah.
stuff was cool and all of that, and man, we'd bang that and just be, you know what I'm saying? Just, oh man, we ride slow, pop,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And man, it became such a big part of just who we are. That, man, that's what we was really trying to live in those days.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for the Lord because even through that whole time in his life, man, he still had his hand on me, man. And one of the things that he did in that whole process is that, I believe he had to separate me and my brother. Like, he allowed my brother to catch a case and get locked up, which left me, out here by my solo.
Right.
But without my brother, I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
And so, and that was still about around the same time, man. I think I got kicked out of my house because, I was doing the fool. Like, straight up. I got, my dad, when my dad had his divorce, he was a single parent dad. So you imagine a single parent dad trying to raise some kids, raise these boys, man. You know
my
what
dad
I'm saying?
raised me, so I'm
yeah.
right
So
there.
you understand,
Yeah.
like my dad was a single parent dad. My mom had left at that time. She was doing her thing, and we was, just me and kids doing our thing, right?
Yeah.
And so, my dad, man, I ain't gonna lie, I gave him heck, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Stress, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I look back on my dad. I used to always crack on my dad, man, because I'm like, man, I'm easy.
Yeah.
And then, like, fast forward to now, I'm looking back, I'm like, bro, my dad went through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he really went through it.
Yeah, man. And that's what happened with me, man. It's like, dude, like I brought him through it. So finally, he's just like, you know what, man? If you're gonna continue down that crap you on, get out.
Yeah.
I don't even want you here. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, I was living with my homies, living with friends. And then by that time, I got back connected with my moms, but I was still doing my thing.
Yeah.
Selling drugs, you know what I'm saying? I had one life in front of my parents and another life, you know what I'm saying, behind everybody back. And I never forget, man, my mama.
And neither life was really you.
No, neither.
You know what I'm saying?
Neither, man. But
neither one of them was authentic.
No, man.
I did that, long time.
But I remember my mama walking in up on me, man, was like, okay, Thomas, what's this? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're doing.
What is it?
And man, like, my mother let me have it, man. Like, she let me have it. Like, when I say she let me have it, man, she told me. Which, man, got me and my stepdad fighting. When we fought, man, then it was crazy. We fought so hard, man. He put a pistol on me. And when he put that pistol on me, man, like, I kid you not. I remember that like it was yesterday, man, because I'm over there, I'm dinging off on him, he dinging off on me, and he put a pistol on me and it jammed. And he did it not once, not twice, but click, 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 click. I'm like, cuz you like it hit me like, oh, you was really gonna shoot me. Oh, you really was gonna end my life, man. And now we were cool now. Like, me and my stepdad, man, like, we got the best relationship in the world. Like
that's cool.
Like, we were cool. But back then, man, it was just like, really, like, oh, okay. Like, man, I ran out of my house and started living with my friends, man.
When we messed up on them drugs, bro, like, we really don't understand what we do and how to fix. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, some of the stuff I did was so disrespectful. And disrespectful to myself, disrespectful to other people, my family, you know what I mean? And we just don't see it that way until something like that happens.
Exactly.
Where somebody just comes off the hinges and is like, I've had it. You know what I mean? Like, I've had it with this dude.
And man, For the next, I say most of my teen years was spent living with my friends and homies.
Yeah.
Like that was most of my teen years. Most of my teen years, I didn't have a stable home, man. I was living with homies. I was living with friends. I was living with, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, just from house to house. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Until they get tired of me.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Couch hopping.
And man, you know, again, during that hard time, man, like God was still with me. You know, I wish I had enough time to kind of tell you some of the stuff that just a lot of disheartening things happen in that process. But you know, I can honestly say, and I'm happy to say, like, dude, at least I was able to still graduate without my parents, without anybody there with me like that. Man, I was still able to graduate, and I graduated high school.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying? I ain't gonna lie, it really hurt your heart, man, because it's like, dang, dude, like I'm watching everybody get their cap and gown and they parents there. It's like, oh yeah, you know, baby,
hey,
you know, doing all that there. And,
don't feel too bad, bro. I didn't graduate until I was 35.
oh, that's what's up. That's what's up.
So
No, that's cool though, man. But
I graduated high school in prison.
that's what's up.
So
That's
you
what's
know what I'm
up.
saying? I got that
Man,
Wyndham High
respect.
diploma.
Now, that's all right. That's
Yeah.
I respect that, man. Respect, man. But it's just everything that happened in that process, man, is what made me the man I am today. You know what I mean? You
And
know.
what was that? What was that moment, bro? What was that moment when you put it down? When you put it down, just said, "Bro, I'm done."
Well, man, fast forward, man. Fast forward, man. Remember I told you, man, I had, you know, did that whole life and everything, right? Um, I end up, you know, because by this time, everybody was like, "Okay, we don't want you staying here, dog. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's about
bro.
time for you
Too
to."
much heat, too much
Yeah,
drama.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like no. And so it was a good idea. I think it was a friend of a family that suggested I go to Job Corps. And so I'm like, I don't know about that, man, but I'll give it a shot anyway, man. And so I ended up going to Job Corps. And during my whole Job Corps thing, I kept running into different Christians in different times. First, to start out with this African dude, man. This African dude, he used to go to the dorms, knock on our doors, and make us go to his church. And him and his wife used to kind of sing and play piano, but he would, you know, have his little church, right?
Right.
And man, that dude there would just gather the kids and just preach, and he'd preach at us, preach at us, preach at us. And I ain't gonna lie, half time I'm like, man, I can't understand this fool, but he got something.
Right.
Like, I can't understand this dude. He got something, but man, this dude get on my nerves. And there's a couple of times, man, I wasn't even trying to, you know, hear the door. I'm like, because I ain't trying to hear you right now, man.
Right.
Like, man, go somewhere, bro.
Right.
And you know, I used to do that a lot, man. And you know, one faithful day, man, I remember just going to the little church, and I felt the spirit, and I was just like, okay, this right here is raw, but you know, I can. If I go to church again, I want to feel that.
Right.
And that's how it was. It's like, if I go to church again, I want to feel that. So fast forward, man, I graduated Job Corps. And, you know, I graduated Job Corps with this girl that I liked, man. You know, I thought, okay, this right here the one.
Right.
This right here, she it. You know,
Right.
she it, right? Well, that girl, I ended up moving to her with her in her hometown, right? So now I'm far away from everybody I don't know. I was all the way in it was a little town called Kilgore,
I know where
Texas.
Kilgore. I know where Kilgore is.
Good old Kilgore,
Yeah.
Texas, man. This is where I was you know, thinking that, man, me and this girl, we're gonna be together, man.
Yeah.
You know, all this stuff right here, man. And make a long story short, man, she turns around and leaves me for the dude at her job. And so I'm stuck in this little bitty town not knowing a darn thing.
Right.
And by this time, man, you know, a lot's happened. She just lost a family member. Man, I was far away from my family. Pretty much ostracized me, like you the devil. You do what you do. We don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm stuck in this mug all by myself. And I remember, man, just I was literally in front of a computer, right? And doing my meth, doing my drugs, doing all of that, man. And I was listening to that song, Jesus Walks. Kid you not, man. And I'm not even a Kanye West
I was
fan
about to
like
say
that.
the Kanye West song.
Yeah, I'm not even a Kanye West fan like that. Not even at all, man. But dog, I remember, man, just hearing that song go off. And he said this verse right here. He said, to the hustlers, dealers, murderer, drug dealers, even the strippers, Jesus walks with them,
Yeah.
to the whatever he said. But I heard that one little verse. And this is right in the middle. Like, you got to understand, like, rapping has been a part of my whole life, but I'll get to another part of that. So, I always would listen to these dudes to get lyrical. See, I can get lyrical because I still had that rap dream in my head.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, man, I remember when I heard that the Lord literally, like an audible voice, like I'm talking to you, man, was like, you going to get in a ditch you can't get out of. And I know what he meant, man. He told me, man, if I would continue down that path, I was gonna die, bro. That's exactly what the Lord was telling me. Like, that's what he was telling me straight up.
Yeah. I get it.
Because it was just like, man, you far away from everything you know. You out here don't know anybody out here, and what got you there is your lifestyle. You out here and what got you there was your lifestyle. Everything that you wanted to make yourself a part of. Like that's how the Lord was talking to me. Like that's how the Lord was speaking. The Lord was just being real. He's just like, man, you got here based off of your actions. You got here based off of, how you're choosing to do life.
Kind of trying to glorify yourself.
Yeah, man. When I just glorify myself, but man, being so hard headed where I think I'm the one that runs it.
Right.
That's what you do a lot of times, man. When you in the middle of your pride, like you get so like deep in the middle of your pride to where you just like, you know what, I can run this. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. And that's how I was. Like, man, ain't nobody tell me what to do. I'm me. I'm wise. I'm strong.
Right.
I got a strong head, strong mind. Like I put things together. I make things like that was my mentality, man. Yeah. And so the Lord had to really show me, like, man, there's nothing you're gonna be able to put together without me. And so I used to be like, okay. So when I heard that, it was like, okay, man, I'm gonna do my best to put God first. I'm so glad I don't say that no more, bro. I'm gonna tell you now, I'm so glad I don't say that no more, man, because if you want to really know how I came out of that mindset, how I really came out of that mindset, I came out of that mindset because I learned how to put God center. I put God center. What's that mean? That means, man, how I move, how I operate, how I make moves, bro. None of those things are even a go without me putting God in the middle of it. That means, man, my whole world revolves around him, man. Like, dude, I don't even start a job without saying, hey, God, what do you think about this? Hey, God, man, there's people that these are my friends, man. What do you think about them? When God is center and your life revolves around him, then, man, God in your life isn't just your Lord and Savior, but he's also a filter that's going to help filter out dumb stuff in your life, what you need and what you don't need, what you need to have there and what you don't need to have there. That's why God needs to be center, man.
I ain't never heard that before.
Man, it's facts. I'm telling you that. No. Like that's how God got me out of all of this stuff.
Yo.
Because, man, it got to the point, man, where it was just like, and here's what I love about God, man. What I really love about God is like, God would make sure that I got alone. Like I got alone, and I got alone a lot. And I would sit right there and just, sorry if I sound misty, man.
You're good. You're good.
But man, I would get by myself with the Lord, and that's when the Lord started telling me about my life. I would remember, man, when God used to get me alone by myself, man, I would sit out in the middle of the night, man, at the back of the house, just me and God, man. And we'd just sit right there and start talking. And then, man, it was like every time, like I sat right there and started talking to the Lord, it's like the Lord just started giving me game. Like he really just started giving me game. He'll start just saying, hey, man, you know, them folks you got in your life right now, man, they're a failure. Get that out your life. That girl that you like, man, I know you like her a lot, man, and I think you think the world of her, man, but that ain't for you. Get that out your life, man.
Right.
And I started learning how to operate like, man, before I make a move, I need to ask God first. You know, I'm gonna tell you something, you know, really like minister to me the most. I used to hear the story of Solomon, right? And we always heard, you know, this is how regular Bible story would always minister Solomon, right? They would minister him as, you know, the most wisest man because he asked God for wisdom. And it's like, man, you missed the whole point of that story. That story wasn't that, oh man, the smartest thing he asked for was wisdom. Yay. And it's like, no. God, you know, he asked God for his way of doing things. That's real wisdom. Real wisdom is, man, you ask for God's way of doing things. When you ask for God's way of doing things, then what ends up happening is that, man, just like the Lord is king, he'll show you how to have dominion. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why it was important that he really asked God on how to do stuff. Because guess what? Because you think of the prayer, and I'm paraphrasing, but he's really asking the Lord. He says, hey, I've seen what you've done in my father's life. I've seen how to do all this. I don't have the capability to run this kingdom.
Yeah.
This is why I need you to help me run this kingdom. And guess what? God was like, boy, because you didn't do this thing selfish. You wasn't trying to ask me of a bunch of selfish stuff. You didn't have a selfish motive. Because that's one thing about lead, man. You know, every key of every good leader, man, is him that's not selfless. God ain't gonna put you in a place to lead if all you is about you and how you can help you and what's gonna benefit you.
Right.
If you Mr. Hell me, and that's what God was telling him, like, man, you could have asked for many virgins, you could have asked for all the wealth and riches, but you asked me on how I'm gonna run this country. And guess what? That's why Solomon went down as one of the wisest men. And it's crazy for us because the same thing with us. Like, when you make God center and you run your ideas, you run everything you have and what you do in your life through him first, then, man, like the king he is and like the Lord he is, man, he show you how to do the same thing. He'll show you how to, man, what you need in your life, what you don't need in your life. Man, what's going to be a hindrance to your vision and what's going to be the right thing in our vision. I'm going to tell you, man, for everybody that I've met so far, let me show you how good God is. Boy, let me show you how good God is. All right, when me and, you know Angel Ray. You real good with Angel Ray. Y'all know everybody, right?
Right.
Do y'all know from Aaron to everybody that's been involved in a ministry that I do now has been God selected, God chose, God orchestrated, and God put together. Like every bit, man, when I say like everybody's been a part of what God has done put together, it's like, man, you know, for all of us that do the ministry we do, man, there's no I and no team. There ain't no, well, you know, since I'm, you know, Mr. Music Dude, or, man, no, none of that, man, because we all know the value in what God has given us, and because we know the value in what God has given us, then what we do is we're good stewards of what God has given us. See, the difference between putting God on the shelf and making God center is when you ask for God's will and God's decision on how you move and how you operate, then God will show you how to be a steward. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if God puts something in your life and you're not a steward for what it is, or here's a fun thing that we do sometimes is we want God to co-sign the things we want him to do in our life. You know that
Yeah.
co-sign.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
God, here's my vision, here's my plan.
Let me make it.
You know what I'm saying? Can it have your helping hand?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's everybody wants to succeed, right?
Oh, it is, man.
You
And
know what I mean?
and there's nothing. And let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong at wanting to succeed. That's not selfish.
Right.
You know, everybody should want to, you know, do something better in their life. But here's the thing: we need to understand too. Our better and our desire is always great in the hands of the Lord.
Right.
You know, one of the perfect examples of that in the Bible, I would say, would be Moses. Why do I say Moses? Why do I talk about Moses? Because I'm going to tell y'all something. Inside of Moses, from the day he started, even everything that happened in his life, A, was God ordained, and B, the promise of him being a deliverer has always been in him. Always been in him. Now, why do I say that? Okay. Him being a deliverer, right? You know, think about it. From a kid growing up and watching yo people, man, just out there struggling, being hurt,
Yeah.
going through torturous times, going through all those things. Even though he was living well, he was living well in the palace. He living well in the palace. But there's always a nagging thing in his heart that said, man, I'm tired of seeing my people go through all that stuff. And so it fast forwards to where he gets old enough to where he can do something about it. And him trying to be cool with the people, man, he did his vision his way.
Yeah.
What was his vision his way? His vision his way was, whop! I'm gonna kill this guard. Now this guard is dead. I hope I get a cred amongst y'all slaves. Hey, your boy did a favor.
Right. Right.
But when he found out, man, he didn't get the street cred he wanted behind killing amongst the slaves. And I'm part of how I put it, man, but that's just how I see the story.
Not like, you know, putting God on the shelf is a real thing.
It really is. It really
You know what I
is.
mean? And I didn't notice it throughout my whole life, but you know, I'm in the process of writing a book.
That's good.
Right. So I'm going back through my life and I'm reflecting on everything.
Good.
And
Good.
dude, like I can look back to just about every bad moment, every good moment, every powerful moment. God was there, but I denied him.
Yep.
I denied him his glory every single time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And since I've came into recovery, you know what I mean? Like, that's still one of the hardest things to do is put him first and not be selfish and try to step out there by myself.
But you know, you always got to kind of ask yourself, man. And you said something earlier, I think that was powerful, man. But you know, and it's something that I've always had to realize in my walk too, is where did it start? What does that mean? Where was that start when I stopped looking to God to, you know, fulfill that thing I wanted him to fulfill? Yeah. Because usually, I'm gonna tell you something, how God really ends up on the shelf, man, is because, man, sometimes there's deep wounds, deep hurts, disappointment. All those things will always play a part of our life on making us say, okay, God, you know what? I've tried it your way from this point forward here. Dude, this ain't really panning out what I want it to be like. So, God, you go on the shelf right now.
Right.
And then when you do that right there, then you come back and be like, well, okay, so now since God is on the shelf, now I've got to pick up my Band-Aid to help me really deal with what I'm dealing with. Yeah. And then this is how we turn into alcohol. This is why we turn into drugs. This is why we turn to all these different things, is because what really happens in our life, man, is that, man, we try to find a Band-Aid to soothe the wound that's been there. Yeah. That's very much been, because people think, man, that like drugs is the problem. Drugs ain't the problem. No, the wound is.
Yes. Absolutely.
People think, man, alcohol's a problem. No, it ain't. The wound is. Yep. And because that wound is there, man, then, man, this is why, bro, you'll turn around and say, okay, God, you on the shelf right now. Why? Because I want you. You didn't do what I wanted you to do with my wound, and because you didn't do what I want you to do with my wound, then man, pardon me as I go take this drink. Pardon me as I go take this. You know, I think the worst state that we can ever get into is where we get in the, or lack of better words, I'll say it with due diligence, but forget it attitude. There it is.
Yeah, there you go. When you hit that button.
Yeah, there it is.
You hit that button.
Where you hit the I don't care button. Poop.
You know, it was like that when I was on heroin.
Come on, man.
When I was on heroin all the time, I mean, it was an everyday thing.
Mm-hmm.
I hit that button every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it first before everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't deal with myself in my head.
Come on, say that again.
You know what I mean? Like, I could not deal with myself in my head.
Man, I'm so glad you said
self-hate,
that. That
self-loathing.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes.
Like,
and bro, that was me when I was on drugs like that, man, because, you know, being real, man, like, since nobody ever really validated me in my life, then it was real cool to just validate myself. You know, just because nobody ever really, I really felt nobody even gave a dang about me. You know what I'm saying? So what I do, I found other ways to give a dang about myself. I'm going to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't help much when I had zero in my ear every day.
No, that's not going to help.
Listen to the zero all the time. Like, man, get y'all, blank y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, man, because I rode with that mindset, man, it was just like I really stopped caring.
Yeah.
Like, stop caring about me turned into I'm not going to care about my life.
Yeah, well, I mean, that self-hate term, if I hate myself so bad, I don't mind doing hateful stuff to other people.
Bingo.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind living in a hateful manner because I hate myself that bad. Like, I really just don't even care.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see, what really happens, can I be honest, man? This is where church does a bad job of it, right? Where church does a bad job of stuff, man, is that we use Jesus and our church life as a Band-Aid and not as a healer.
Right.
What do I mean by that, man? When somebody's really like, they really going through and they having a hard time in life, we give them spiritual sayings and spiritual things with no explanation of how that really works. You know, we can always like I see a lot of us, like, especially us theologians.
Right.
We're real good at giving folks great answers. But, man, never know way to really walk through some things, man.
Right.
And so
you talk about like the application.
Yeah.
You explain it to them, but like that day-to-day walk, like what does that walk look like?
Yes.
Through that thing,
Yes, because here's the thing about application, right? Like, for instance, man, if I just told you something like, man, just leave it to Jesus, man, I promise he's got you.
Yeah.
Man, just leave it to Jesus, I promise he's got you.
That's so easy to shrug off.
Yeah, it's like
it is like it's that's so easy to sit there and go okay, and it just flew.
It just go to one ear and out the other, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, I'm gonna get to that right there.
Well, that's why I always tell people, man. Like, I could tell people how to live all day long.
Yes.
People could tell me how to live all day long.
Yes.
Out of 25 years of drug addiction, people were trying to tell me how to live.
Yes.
But it wasn't until somebody walked with me and showed me.
There you go.
Until I figured it out.
Yeah, man, because, man, and I'm be honest, that's what made me hate church. That's what made me hate church the most, bro, because
they're just talking.
Yeah, man. I'm like, man, wasn't you just talking about brother Dante? And you here smiling at Brother Dante's face, trying to give him a great message on, trusting God. Like, man, fool, get out of here. Like, straight up, bro. That's how I really saw those people, man, because, like, that right there, they used to make me so mad, man. Until, man, I'm gonna be honest, man. I thank you for my sobriety. I'm thankful for all that stuff I had to walk through because, man, if it wasn't for me having to walk through my sobriety and to have God put people in my life to actually walk with me for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, man. I'm going to tell you, I think with anybody that's trying to walk through sobriety, I think one of the biggest things that's got to be a big part of you is community. Community is so important,
Support.
bro.
Support.
Like when I say community is important, man, like you need at least 2 and 3 people, man, that you can be like, dog, I'm just struggling today.
Yeah.
I'm struggling today. Like, man, the cat got on my nerves. The dog bit my finger. Like, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? You really need those kind of people, man, because when you don't have those kind of people in your life, bro.
And they have to be like-minded people.
Yeah, they
You
is.
know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Come on.
you know, like when I look back, when I reflect back, man, what makes it different? My sobriety different this time than last time. You know what I'm saying? Last time it was just me trying to do it,
Come on.
me trying to take the credit for it, and ego tripping.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
Like
Yes,
real
yes,
ego
yes,
tripping.
yes.
And then when things fell apart again, like it fell all the way apart.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
And then
yes.
you know what I'm saying? Like when I had my kind of like my white light moment. You know what I'm saying? And God told me what He wanted me to do, and I started working towards that. You know what I mean? And I didn't waste time. Like He told me, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But He told me, He said, when I get you out of here, I was in jail, right? He said, when I get you out of here, you're gonna be proactive in everything you do. Build your house the way you want to build it. You know what I'm saying? And just don't waste time. So like the night I got out of jail, me and my wife came up with Better Days Rain. And then the very next day we started recording. And we've been recording ever since.
Man, that's what's up. Boy, like, that's what's up,
and
man.
It's cool because everything that's come from it, you know what I'm saying, hasn't it's been service, bro.
Come on,
It's been nothing but service.
Come on, man.
But like God has put people in my life. Every time I hit a wall and I don't know where to go and I don't know what to do, I'm sitting there just like with my hands and just on my face. God put somebody in my life to give me an answer.
See that, and that's what I'm talking. Yeah, I do. I know what you mean.
It's almost always at that breaking point. Yes, it's almost at that breaking point. It's like, I don't know how much more of this I can take. God always steps in, so
He does, man, and that's why it's like, dog, like that's why I say, man, I never believe in the term of putting God first, but making God center, man, because it's like, man, God is like that. He'll allow you to get to that little breaking point, but then show you, like, dog, I'm still here. Get back up.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm still rocking with you. Get back up.
Yeah.
Man, quit crying. I can't tell you how many times, man, I told God I'm throwing the towel. And the Lord turned around and throw the towel right back. Like, fool, what are you doing? Get up, quit crying. Quit being a baby. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough, man.
It is, man. But, you know, I'm glad that it happened that way because, you know, one of the biggest things that you have to do as a person, especially walking through this, is you got to really learn how to deny self.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you, man. Yes. The Lord spoke something to me very powerful, yes. And I never like this. Always been something that stuck with me to this day, right? But I was asking the Lord, you know, just talking like, man, how come you just don't plain out talk to me? Like talk to me.
Yeah.
Speak to me, like, man. If you God of all authority, man, like talk to me, make me understand. I'm sometimes dumb. That's what I was saying. I was saying all that right there. And just as fast as I said that, the Lord said, the reason why I talk in a small voice, because I need you to quiet your spirit down and you shut up long enough to listen.
Mic drop.
That's what he told me. I said, whoa. He says, man, it's going to be hard for me to sit right here and talk to you in your head in a way. It's hard for me to sit right here and talk to you what you think and what you got to do, and all you got to do is all in the way. Because you think like that, no wonder you have a hard time hearing from me. Because you do stuff like that, no wonder you have a hard time trying to listen to what I got to say. He says, why in the world do I got to wait till you calm your spirit down, or when you getting ready to lay in your bed, now I can get ready to talk to you? Why in the world do I got to wait till when you driving in your car that now I can start talking to you? No, man, I should be able to talk to you when I want to.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to try to move around you and all your stuff that's in your heart just for me to speak to you. And boy, let me tell you, man, when I say that hit me hard, it was like, okay, I'll never ask that again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But what was he showing me, man? He was showing me, man, that dude, denying yourself isn't just about, man, what I don't do and what I do. No. Denying yourself is really bringing yourself under the level of, man, God's stewardship and God's actual love for you. I'm going to say that again, man, because I know a lot of times I go over folks in their head. But, man, God's stewardship with you, God, let me tell you something. One thing about our heart, man, is our heart, contains every experience that we've ever walked out in life, right? And because our heart holds every experience we ever walked out in life, right? Then what ends up happening is our heart looks like a hoarder's house. It does. Why? Because our house has all this junk all on the inside of us, mounds and mounds of crap. And God's like, you want me to move in your heart, but you've got all this mess in here. How in the world am I going to turn around and move in your heart and you got all this mess up on mounds? And so this is why he would have you, go in there and start cleaning your heart and start having you remove things and take out things. Because why, man? It's hard for him to move if all the mess is there. Right. Mess that you choose to keep. Mess that you choose to say, well, man, this makes me feel better. Man, this makes... I just don't see the justification and why I should let that go.
Right.
And a lot of us, we do that a lot. God's like, okay, so when you're going to continue stumbling and fumbling, and you want me to move in your life, and I'm telling you, this right here is in the way of me moving. Because one thing about God, God is a beautiful gentleman. He ain't going to force himself on you. He's not going to make you Tommy robot that's going to just, man, I'm just going to obey God.
Yeah.
No. He give you authority to move stuff out of your life. And you know what, man? Because he want to love you and he wants you to know how big his love is for you. This is why, man, he's going to ask you to do the deep and hard things. This is why he's even in the midst of you trying to move forward in your vision, man.
Yeah.
He's going to allow different things to pop up in your life to say,
hold up.
That right there is what I've been trying to get you to deal with.
Yeah. No, I get it. We had that talk the other day outside.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And man, I've been thinking about that talk, man. We were talking about Noah.
Mm-hmm.
Tell that story again, man, for the people. Because, like, the way you told it to me, I was sitting there and I was just like, man.
I really forgot what I said, to be honest with you.
You was talking about how God closes one door and opens another.
Yes.
He was talking about how Noah was never even saw water or didn't know water.
That's right.
I don't want to mess it up.
No, you good. You doing good, man.
So, like, you was telling me, like, how he never seen water, knew what water was, but built a boat.
That's right.
Off the word of God.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, put a boat together for all the creatures and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, close the door to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? While it opened up a new door. I don't remember.
No, you did good. You did good. No, you did great. No, and that's very true, man, because the thing we got to understand, man, is that, it was God's vision to build the boat.
Yeah.
And because it was God's vision to build the boat, only thing he had to do was be obedient. And think about it. And let's think about us right now. Let's think about us right now, man. There are some visions that God has laid on our heart right now, man, that, man, we don't understand why, how it's going to look, which way it's going to look, or what's going on. But all we know is that, man, God laid this on my heart for me to do.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, one beautiful thing I like about that whole story was because as he stepped out by faith, God gave the provision. It wasn't that, what nowhere you saw in that thing where he was like, okay, God, only way I'm going to step out is if you show me this right here is going to go well.
Right.
No, if you really look at that story, it's like literally um, he would move and God would say, okay, take 10 more steps. He would move and God again would say, okay, take 10 more steps. Every little step he made, God set to provision. And here's the funny thing, I'm going back on the opening door part. Again, to his vision, God was the one that opened the door, and God was also the one that closed the door. Think what would have happened if right in the middle of the vision, Noah were to turn around and say, I think it's time for me to close this door right now.
Right. Everybody would drown.
Man, yeah. Or he would have done just sit right there waiting on. Go ahead. You got something? Okay. Because I saw his hand go. I was like, oh, that's it. But man, no. But think about it. If he would have shut that door any earlier, man, then again, man, he would have missed out on just how amazing God's grace is. Because you don't know. Here's the thing the Bible doesn't tell us. The Bible don't tell us, man. We just know the animals came in 2 by 2. That's all we know. But we don't know how or what time or how it came. If he shut the door early, he probably would have missed 2 kangaroos for all we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's just like, man, the door was literally open for God's purpose. The door was open for God's purpose. And think about it. Again, God's timing is everything. God's timing is everything. Why? Because, again, we don't know how those animals got there. We don't know how but everything that was supposed to be on that ark was on that ark.
Yeah.
And whatever got on that ark that was supposed to be on that ark, then that's when the door closed. And when the door closed on everything went in the ark, now, for everybody that was like, oh, man, no, man, he tripping, man. Noah don't know what he talking about. Noah over here just being him. Guess what, man? Those folks that were doubting him had to watch him and his boat sail away as they drowned.
That's true.
And I'm going to tell you something, man. Everybody that didn't believe in your dream or believe in your vision right when God had started it, guess what? They got to watch your boat sail while they drown in theirs.
Amen. That's pretty powerful, bro.
They are, man, because I'm going to tell you something, man. You got to understand, man, when God gives you a vision, I don't even know why I'm on this topic, but, man, when God gives you a vision or God gives you something, man, you got to trust him for the process.
Yeah. That's hard.
It is, man. It is.
I'm personally going through a situation like that, kind of where it's just tough, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You gotta realize you gotta face all that trash in your past.
Yes, you do, man.
But it's the only way you can really step into authenticity in
you.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That's why you face trash in your past. You know why you face trash in your past? So that way you able to clean up and you can honestly be the real you God called you to be. Right. That's why he has you deal with your mess in order for you to, man, turn around and be what he called you to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, man, thank you. Man, I so appreciate you letting me be a part of this.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I had fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all out there, I don't know why my mind just went blank, but you know what I'm saying? Like, comment, share. Man, if y'all haven't already checked out our merch store, you should check it out. It's on our Facebook page on Printify. This is Thomas Miller. You know what I'm saying? He's man of God. Love him a lot. Mission Music. What's coming from Mission Music?
Oh, man, we got a lot of things in store, a lot of projects. I can't wait to flood just y'all with a lot of great music. That's all it is, just great music, really great music, man. We believe in, man, just God-glorifying music that you can have fun and jam.
Right on, man. All right, y'all. Well, this is live from Warrior Garden Studios, man. It's Better Days Rain. We're out.
Out.